Hi, welcome to the Stage Door. My name is Tanya Mazza, and I'm the Arts and Culture Coordinator for the town of Collingwood. I'm here at the Simcoe Street Theatre in beautiful Collingwood, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our stream. This is the 5th episode in our 8-part series where we take you behind the scenes to celebrate and showcase performing artists and organizations in Collingwood and beyond. Luckily, it's not just me here with you this evening. I'm so pleased to welcome my co-host. She's a director, a producer, a teacher, a connector, and a creator of magical things, Erica Angus, Executive Director of Theatre Collingwood. Hey, Erica.
Hi, Tanya. Oh my gosh. I hope I can live up to
Did you like that?
That was impressive. You know, we haven't done a show for several weeks now, and I think you must have been planning that all that time.
I was thinking about you.
Well, I really appreciate that. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's so good to see you. Can't believe we're doing show 5. That's so fun. Yes.
Pretty great. Pretty amazing. Yeah, it's been great.
And I thank you so much, and I thank the town of Collingwood so much for giving us this opportunity to do this. And, you know, I always love talking about things that have to do with performance. And tonight we have lots of fun performance things.
I'm really excited about our guests tonight, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be super.
And I guess we need to give a shout out to
the wizard.
Tyler. Yeah. I was turning this way because Tyler is actually over here behind a little magical curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz.
Well, we couldn't do it without him because he is, well, he puts us to shame a little bit. He's our tech wizard, and we are not. We are not.
That's right.
You know, I forgot something. The last time we did this show, I promised that I wasn't going to be jumping like all over the place like a crazy maniac, because I get so excited about talking that I just get crazy. And so Tyler reminded me once that I needed to, you know, bring it down 10%, Erica. So I'm gonna try to remember. I can't.
We all can't have that sexy, deep voice that Tyler has. Tyler, can you bring it? Tyler?
I thought you were going to say me. No, Tyler.
Tyler, are you going to say something for us?
Oh my God. I'm just happy I'm not on screen because luckily the color red doesn't really come through alone. But thank you very much. You guys are too kind.
You're the wizard. You're the wizard. It's fantastic. I also want to thank our sponsor for this evening, and that is Blue Mountain Resort. Wonderful supporter of the arts and all things in the region. So we thank Blue Mountain Resort. And is it time to do Theatre Collingwood news?
Yeah, let's do it. You've got lots to talk about, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. So first of all, we had our first event post staying at home, right?
That's right.
I can't really say post-COVID because we're kind of still in this crazy world. But we had our event, which we called Sunday in the Park. No,
love it.
Sunday in the Vineyard with George. And that was at the Georgian Hill Vineyards that was in August 23rd. And we had such an amazing event.
And it was sold out, wasn't it?
It was sold out in a couple of days, which was mind-blowing. And what we did was we brought people to the vineyard to taste a variety of wines and also have food pairings. So the food pairings were done by Roadrunner Foods. They did a fantastic job. Everybody sat with their little bubble, socially distanced. And we had Collingwood's artist, John Burton, there painting.
Right.
We had Aaron Solomon playing the guitar and singing for us. And it was just a beautiful afternoon with friends, and everybody felt safe. So I thank everyone that came out to that, and we really got a terrific response from them. So because we had so much fun, we're going to do something again. And this time what we're doing is we're starting a porch side series. We're going to highlight some of the lovely porches in Collingwood And we start on September 26th, the home of David and Anita Hearn on Beach Street. And so we are having a little concert in their backyard. The musicians will be on the porch, and the audience will be sitting on their lawn chairs in this big, lovely, beautiful backyard. And our performers for that event are the fabulous Chris Suchiuchi, who we have had in Collingwood before. We love Chris, he's so much fun. And he has a boy band, and his boy band is the Asian Riffing Trio. And they are so much fun and so very talented. So we can't wait to have a lovely concert in a backyard, socially distanced. We're telling everyone, bring your blankets, bring your lawn chair, bring your picnic basket. We'll have lots of fun.
And I love that because it feels so special and intimate, and I love it. That'll be great.
Yeah, and we have a second one planned. I'm not going to announce it yet, but there's more coming. So lots of fun there. Those tickets for that are available through Theatre Collingwood at theatrecollingwood.ca or at the office, and they will go very fast because we can't put too many people in, so they're limited. I wanted to tell you something about Colin, who's in the Asian Riffing Trio. He was one of the stars of the Great Canadian Baking show that was on TV, and I think that's so fun. I love that.
That's
show.
Very cool. Yes,
super fun. And the other thing I wanted to announce is again going back to Blue Mountain Resort, who have, you know, Tanya, this statistic just blows my mind. They have been supporting Theatre Collingwood for 36 years. That is a huge commitment from any company. So we were out there yesterday taking a fun photo while we had a check presentation, and we all wore our masks, and we were quite good about what we were doing, but it was lots of fun, and fun to meet a relatively new employee out there, and that is Carla Fox Jackson, who is the executive assistant to Dan Skelton out there. So it was wonderful to meet her. She treated us lovely, and we had lots of fun. So thank you, Blue Mountain. We all love you. You're fantastic.
And it's amazing.
Thank you for supporting the arts.
It is amazing because it's so wonderful to have that kind of a relationship too. And they get to see how Theatre Collingwood has grown and changed over the years as well. So from their standpoint, I hope it's been rewarding for them as well. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be, but that's amazing.
Well, and it was fun. Last year we brought a couple of shows out to Blue Mountain, which was really great. And of course, little history that many people know, but maybe some people don't know, is that Theatre Collingwood was founded by Barbara Wider. And of course, the Wider family were the founders of Blue Mountain Resort. So we have a very definite connection with them. So that was great. So that's my Theatre Collingwood news. Yay!
Yay! So tell me, how are you feeling at this time of the year? I was thinking the other day that it's so, I know for me, September means it's all about kind of that sense of renewal and renewed energy, and my daughter's going back to school, but that's not the way it is for everybody. Like, do you feel a sense of renewal? Or
I think, you know what, I think that's a really, really great question, because September has always been my absolute favorite time of the year. I love the fall. I loved going back to school. I was lucky to be in one of those families where we got to go out and buy a new back to school outfit. I still feel that way. So even though, you know, the world has changed around us, and I know there's a lot of anxiety that parents are having right now, I have to admit, I'm glad I don't have school-age kids right now. But I still feel really, really great. I can't wait to get my sweaters out. You know, I was excited to put my scarf on tonight, a little more clothing. Yeah, yes, I think it's a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like it too. I still sometimes dream of pencil cases and binders and things like that, but you know.
I get it. Let's you and I go to Staples one day. We'll have so much fun.
That's right. Anyway, so I guess we should talk about our first guest. So I first met our first guest. I won't tell you who it is yet. when her company performed at the first iteration of the Creative Collingwood Symposium. And that was here at the Simcoe Street Theatre. It looked a little bit different. It didn't have the seats in. That's where I am, by the way. It was an open space, and we are all crowded around on the floor here. The lights were low, and there was some music playing, and we're all looking up. And that's all I'm going to say. Tyler, can you play the video? Wasn't that amazing? So I'm so happy to welcome Kristin Nunes, who is the owner and founder of the Circus Company and the Collingwood Circus School. Hi, Kristin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So glad you could be here.
Me too. Thank you.
So that was 8 years ago that you did the performance here at the theater, and seeing that video, it feels like so much has changed and grown for your company.
Yes, I was actually, when you were talking, I was trying to recall. I mean, I remember the theater turned, and I think that the stage is at the back.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't remember that particular.
And we had, they were on the silks. So you had two women that were performing from the silks, hanging from the ceiling, and it was just amazing. And you'd been here, I think, for the better part of the day, setting everything up and getting it all rigged up.
Yes.
There's a lot involved with that. Tell us about how you can get everything all set.
Well, it starts with months before, of course, even years before. I've trained all of my performers from scratch. So when this business started, I became pregnant in the very first month of opening my doors. So I had to train these people while being pregnant. It took me about 2 years to train my students into performers, which is when you probably saw us at your space. Mm-hmm. So they were brand new. They were beautiful little circus babies, and they've come so far. And it's really interesting because the core, that group that you saw up on stage 8 years ago, is still our core group now. So we've been doing it all these years, and we haven't really changed. We've added sprinkles of people in that we trust and connect with, and our upcoming students are like so phenomenal. They're just like, they're out of this world, circus babies.
And so tell us about the school, because that was a new component, I think, that's come along in the last 8 years.
Yes, so it's something that I've always wanted to do, is start a school. We have schools now in Collingwood and Barrie, actually. Yeah, it's more of a school, and yes, it's got the club where we've got that, like, you know, camaraderie and the kindness and the connection, and it's a place where people can gather and have like a like-minded athletic affiliation to this. But yeah, the school just seems right. It's something, circus schools there's only a few circus schools all over the place, like around North America, and we just felt like we belonged in that circus school community. We've done an amazing job at building our curriculum up over the last several years. It's a tight curriculum. Our facility is an engineered dream. You know, we've got anchors, lowering system, raising systems. I'm dying to get a winch in there. It'll happen at some point when I can save up the money. But yeah, it's really come along, and we don't offer we don't just offer aerial silks, but we do all the aerials, we do the juggling, we do the ground circus, although not right now because of COVID. We just offer so much for kids and adults who are looking for something different and unique, and people who are similar.
I think probably as we're chatting, Tyler is showing some of the photos too, but we see the photos of the students on the silks, on the hoops, and then there's a fire dancer, which is amazing. How do you train someone to be a fire dancer, or how do you find a fire dancer?
I don't do fire dancing. I don't train those people. They come. So Clara, the girl that might have been shown, she is like this phenomenon. I don't know. She's unbelievable. So this woman has been involved in drama. Erica, I don't know if you know Clara Arnold, but she's kind of out there in the community. Right. She's a fantastic aerialist. We've been training her for years, and all of a sudden this year she's just skyrocketed off. She just needs to do everything. So her hula hoop skills are out of this world, and she's the fire dancer. So she does these. You know what? Honestly, they're hand wicks, and she does like the fire hoops. She does all sorts of awesome stuff, and she really engages people, and she brings people into where she is in her heart, and she's really incredible to watch.
I've seen her do her hula hoops, and it's amazing. It's totally amazing. And I'm wondering, with your school, is this also, or maybe it's part of the club part of it, but I would think that for people who are looking for maybe not to be circus performers, but for a different way to get their fitness in, that this could be something really different and unique to do. Yes, and people are usually, like as a student, they're nervous to start because and as an adult student has a hard time coming to us on start because it's intimidating. Right? You see people who've been doing it for 8 or 10 years, and it's really hard to just get up that courage and to get out there. But once you get there, you realize that there's people who are exactly like you, who are a little bit thrill seekers, and they want that. They want to feel like they're falling in control, and they get that in the silks because the silks are holding you. They're like this gentle little cradle. As you fall down them, like it seems like we're dropping, and we are, but it's very controlled, and it's within friction, and the muscle control that comes out of silks and circus is incredible for anybody. I really believe that anybody can learn it. My dad's been on it. He's 84. Oh my gosh.
He wasn't graceful, but he did it.
So I was thinking today that, I suffer from vertigo, and I think it could be a way for me to get rid of the vertigo. You'll just twist me around so much that it'll all balance out, right? Perfect.
I don't think we would do that. So we've got ginger tablets for people like you. And we make sure, so going inverted and spinning is a hard no for you.
Yeah.
We need to keep you upright. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, sort of going upside down in general is, for some people, it's very scary. It's a really difficult thing to do.
Yes, so they're inverted, but they're also needing to contract their abdominal in a way that they've never done before while laughing. Like, it's lovely to see people who are nervous doing something for the first time.
Yeah,
it's such a thrill for the coaches to know that we push somebody over their hump.
Yeah. Kristin, I'd love to know how you first got interested in doing something like this. Like, how does someone decide, I think I'll just, hang from silks, in silks from the ceiling? Like, how did that all happen for you?
I've always been a bit of a thrill seeker, I guess. I was a gymnast since I was 2, and I took gymnastics right through to university, and performed at just a club level. Yeah, so I always do something, jump out of planes. It doesn't matter what it is. I rock climbed for the better part of 20 years. And I was in Mexico. I was in Mexico when I first saw it. My mother took me to a resort for, I was getting married in the next year, and she wanted to take me out. Anyways, they had silks there, and these guys were performing. So I found them the next day. And I said, come on, like, you gotta teach me. This was about 10 years ago. And they said, oh yeah, we can teach you. What's your background? So I said, I'm a gymnastics coach, blah, blah, blah. And they wanted to do a trade. So for that week, I taught them how to tumble on the beach to make their performances better, to run up a handspring, back tuck, whatever they wanted. And then I got to train that week with them in their little studio that they had.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. That was it.
Well, you were actually one of, I met you when I first started at Theatre Collingwood. I remember you coming into, when we had our office in the Simcoe Street Theatre, and us talking about what you did. And then I think you used the space a bit, which was great. And I also remember very vividly some event that was going on where one of your people was serving champagne upside down from the silks. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, we've served lots of different types of alcohol since then. That's one of our best. I mean, we love performing together and we love doing those theater type shows, but it's just fun to bartend.
Yeah. So you do, I mean, that is something that your group does, is you do corporate events and other events. Yeah, so people will hire us to come to their corporate event, wedding, party, whatever they're having, and we'll serve as best as we can their drink of choice. We've served like a shaker. We would shake it in the air and then somehow pour it upside down. I mean, they don't care if it spills. We do the best. We don't spill on the dresses. We've only managed to get on the floor. One drop. That's amazing.
It's really fun. Yeah.
So another thing I love is that it's so choreographed. So it's like a dance, or a dance in the air, a dance on these silks or on the hoop. So are you doing the choreography, or is that a collaborative effort with the performer, or how do you come up with that?
For our individual performances, the artist will come up with their own choreography. So in silks, hoop, anything aerial, really, people move differently. So all of our students from 6 to 66 move differently. And for me to come in there and try to choreograph how their body is going to move on the silks isn't going to work for them. They're just not going to feel it. I mean, you've seen some of those positions that we get into. I can't force somebody. Some people's hips don't rotate the way that other people's hips. So I can't force somebody to do that. So all of the choreography that you've seen for the individual performances have been solely made up by the performers themselves. So Tara Leslie, for example, is a powerhouse, and she can hit beautiful poses, but she loves big drops. And she's super strong. So she will hold one arm poses, or she'll do massive drops. Whereas Aisha Chandat is more delicate, and she's just so graceful in the air, and she can hold a pose and make her legs somehow extend 2 extra feet in the air. And that's her thing. Like, she's just gorgeous in the air. Everyone's got their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I were to come in and start learning how to do this, would you keep me really low to the ground, close to the big cushy mattress to start, or how would I ever progress to get up higher? I guess.
Yeah. So we start everybody over time. Yeah. And it really doesn't take long. We start everybody in a knot. So the silks come down and we put a little slip knot, or an egg knot, we call it, in the bottom of the silk. So you can start this far off the ground and move you here, move here, move here, until you're feeling comfortable even to stand off the ground. So we get you sitting, standing, straddle, inverted, a little bit of spinning to see how people handle their vertigo, and then we know what to do from there. But the sitting position helps you get your grip strength up because you're holding onto the silks, you're leaning back, and you're using these muscles that you mostly hear that you've never used before. So from there, all of a sudden one day you tell us, I want to climb. And we're like, okay, yes, here we go. You know when it's time. It's really like it's instructor led, but it's also student led. You tell us kind of when you're ready to move on.
Tanya, you have to do this.
It's so fun.
You have to do this. You're a dancer. You could do this.
Fun. I don't think I would have the flexibility, but
you don't need it. So some of those poses are like, they'll be in a, it looks like they're in a split, but they're actually only in a 90 degree just because of where the silks, like, where we're placing things. It looks bigger than it is.
I got this. I can do it. Yeah, I just found it so enchanting to watch, especially the hoops too. Just maneuvering in and around the hoop it's amazing how the artists can do that, really. Do you have a favorite? Like, do you like a silk sort of your preferred aerial art, or do you like
you know what? It's so different for me. It depends on. Honestly, it depends on the time of year. It depends on how I'm feeling. Like, I love the silks. I love the aerial hoop, and I love performing acro with my partner, Simon. All of those things. I love the duet hoops that I do with Aisha, where she's hanging off, 1 foot from my arm. I love performing synchro with Tara, who's on the silks beside me, and you connect in the air for that 1 minute in the middle of a performance, and you're like, we got this. We're doing this together. We are so in sync, and you've got that moment with each other in all these different events that are, I can't find a favorite. Yeah, that doesn't even include the student shows. Like when we do student shows, you're in love with everything all the time. All the kids, all the staff, everybody, the lighting crew, I don't even know them. You're just in love.
I get it.
You get it. Yeah, you get
it. And for the school, how old are the children?
We start at 6.
6.
Yeah, we've tried to start a little bit younger, but especially in Collingwood, the whole space is open to the gymnastics side. So they're just like, gymnastics. We just want to run everywhere. In Barry's fairly new. I set to open on March 14th, which was maybe one of the worst days in history to ever open.
No.
We're it's doing fine. We're okay. But it's a closed facility. It's just ours. So I might be able to open some classes up there for the younger ones.
Yeah.
So have you've been able to do some classes, some work during this pandemic?
Yeah. We reopened at the end of June with some privates just to see how people feel and how we feel about it all. And then we ran some classes in September, in the summer. And now in September, we're running 5 nights a week, we hope, in both locations. Registration just opened, so we're seeing how it goes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations. And I think it speaks to the fact that people want to do something if they can feel safe, if they feel that all the preparation has been done. They want to get out there and get out of their houses. So what an exciting way to do it.
The silks, so when we were reading all the COVID rules and blah blah blah, our silks are already 7 feet apart. We already train like that, so that's like it was a win for us. We didn't have to really move equipment around, and we had to take away some things, but silks are all there. They're already ready to go.
Amazing.
Well, unfortunately, our time is run out. I can't believe it. I could ask a million more questions, Kristin. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
And Erica and I might just stop by and for some lessons, right?
Yes,
Erica?
for sure that's going to happen.
Erica's like, Okay.
But I will come and watch. For sure, I will watch.
You can bring the camera. You bring the camera. You be the camera person.
Yeah, I absolutely adore what you do. You're so good at it, Kristin.
Thank you.
And I look forward to, hopefully working with you again one day.
Me too. Sometime. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, thanks
so
Kristin.
much.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, Erica. So I guess I'm on. Yeah, I might be on to try the silk sometime.
I think you should. I think you should. I think you'd be fabulous at it. And I would definitely be there to cheer you on. For
Take
sure.
pictures,
I've got little pom-poms, you know. I could, yay, go Tanya. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm very excited about our next guest, who I consider to be a dear friend and a mentor. And that is the absolutely brilliant David Nairn. David is the artistic director of Theatre Orangeville. I almost said Theatre Collingwood. He sort of is too. But he is also, his theater company does so much. And David, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to be able to spend this time talking to you.
Yeah, hi Erica. Hi Tanya. How are you?
Hi David.
Great.
I'm going to sign up for that circus thing. I think that's astonishing. What Kristin's doing is so cool. I really love doing silks.
Isn't it? It's so beautiful, and it's mesmerizing. Every time I watch it, I still can't believe they can do it. I know there's some smoke and mirrors, but yeah, it's amazing.
Smoke and mirrors? No.
Well, they're really doing it, but I know they're relatively safe. It looks like they're not safe at all.
I know, that's the excitement of it. It's like it's like any theater, right? It looks so scary, but it's, you know, it's pretty. I'm sure it's rehearsed. I'm sure Kristin's got her. They're not just up there goofing around. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. I think so. We have and you know, sometimes we say this to the audience. We don't actually see the photographs that people are seeing. Unfortunately, I can't see them, but we have some amazing photographs to show tonight. And I just want to make a comment right from the beginning that there is a different hairstyle for almost every version of David Nairn. And we have to talk about your hair now because I just love what you're doing. So explain.
I have, well, I don't know what photo, I don't know what photos you're showing, but yes, I have sworn that I will not cut my hair until there is another opening night at Theatre Orangeville. So it's getting a little bit long.
That is impressive.
Wow.
It's going a little bit. And I've got this really amazing little ringlet right here that I'm really super proud of.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And I think there's gonna be a great fundraiser happening.
Yeah, well, that's totally what it's all about. Everybody's all figuring, okay, it's gonna be like, I don't know, $100 a cut, or I don't know what it's gonna be. Or...
Yeah. That's
it's very Shakespeare.
It's very what?
It's very Shakespeare-esque.
Ooh.
Like the little fellow on Erica's shoulder over there.
That little fellow on her shoulder,
yes,
I know.
The long, yes, you need the ruffled collar and...
I know. I guess that makes me Puck or something like that.
I think you're going back to your roots.
Oh, are my roots showing?
No, not those roots.
Oh, no.
Your actual European Scottish roots. Yes. So anyways, that is so much fun. And I hope that we were able to show you, there's a beautiful portrait that was done of you. Can you tell us what that's all about? Who did that portrait?
Yeah, it's Laurie McGaw. Laurie is one of the foremost drawer of pictures of people in Canada. She's astonishing. She lived in Orangeville for many years. She was one of our ushers. She was a volunteer. Her daughter Gwen went through all of our programs. She's since moved down to Guelph, but she was on the New York Times bestseller list. She designed coins that the Royal Mint have produced. She's Oscar Peterson. If there's that really, I think it's been on quite a number of the books, biographies, particularly of Robertson Davies. There's this amazing shot of Robertson Davies that she did. And she's just astonishing. Yeah. And she made me look 20 pounds lighter. So I was that's about 10 years old. So
it's a beautiful portrait. It really is beautiful.
I'm hoping that if I put it in the attic, it will age for me and gain weight for me. Kind of an Oscar, like Dorian Gray kind of a thing. But
don't ever put that in the attic. Don't ever put it in the attic.
And I was fortunate enough to get the original. My nieces actually got it for me one Christmas, which was really sweet. So.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, it's an amazing picture,
Yeah.
portrait. I have to, before we go any further, of course, I have to mention your wife.
Oh.
Because your wife, in addition to people in Collingwood loving you, well, Theatre Collingwood loving you, we also love your wife, Lisa Way, who has had many appearances at Theatre Collingwood and always has a huge fan base there. So I think we have a picture of you and Lisa when you maybe first met. And there are very few couples I know who say, we met in Camelot. You were both actors at that time and you were performing in Camelot.
Yeah, we did. It was at Huron Country Playhouse in Grand Bend. And 28 years ago, we were doing Camelot together. We'd never met before. And I was playing Arthur and she was playing Guinevere. So we were doomed. And our friend Chris Shire was playing Lancelot, and he just decided Lancelot just backed off when he saw the lay of the land. So that was all. Yes, it was wonderful. But Collingwood, you know, the theater and Collingwood, Theatre Collingwood, but Collingwood, I love the town, the city. It always kind of feels like going home when we take a show up there, or I get to go up with Lisa and hang out, because the reception is always so great for Lisa's shows, and also for, you know, for
your shows.
The creative partnership that we've had with you over the years, and so it's really great, and it's a super supportive community. It's a really art-centric community, and it really gets it and supports it, and supports Theatre Collingwood, and supports the whole art scene up there, which is super, super vibrant. And
well,
so
you know,
yeah,
and I know that you were involved with Theatre Collingwood before I started with Theatre Collingwood, but I actually would love to take the time to say thank you so much for everything you've done for me, because I really consider you a mentor. And, you know, you have such an ability to direct shows, to create beautiful pieces of work. And then you also have an amazing team. So if I'm bringing in a show from Theatre Orangeville, one, I know there's going to be this magnificent set made by Becky Morris, or designed by her. I mean, your team is amazing, and I thank you. I know that if I'm working with you, I got it made in the shade. So.
Oh, well, thank you. This piece that's behind me is actually part of, there were 9 panels. They're I guess 12 feet tall and about 4 feet wide, and they were part of the set of Queen Millie of Galt, yeah, which we took up there, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago.
That show was so amazing, a story I actually did not know. And interestingly enough, now I have a son who lives in Cambridge, Galt, and it's nice to know the history of that. So that was really amazing.
It was true. We went on a field trip. There is I think it's I want to say it's the Anglican cemetery there, right in downtown Cambridge. She's buried there. Millie's buried there, and right on her tombstone, she claims to have been the wife of the king and of Prince of Wales, or the Prince of Wales at that time. So yeah, it's a sweet story.
Yeah, it's a really amazing story. And in addition to that, I was looking at, I don't have them all written down, but I was looking at the shows that we have brought in of yours, such as Baco Noir, Sexy Laundry, which I will never forget, Deb Collins in Sexy Laundry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Where You Are, which we're going to have to talk about Where You Are, because Where You Are basically took place on a porch of a house. And when we decided that you would come to Collingwood, things changed up a little bit, let's say, that year with that show. So we were now going to present that show at the Simcoe Street Theatre, which is a small theater with a small stage space and minimal lighting. And I don't know, David. I mean, I sort of just asked you to continue to bring it in, and you said, we'll do it.
And we did it. It was a huge success. And because Tanya is sitting in the theater right now, I reckon, you know, because I love that space. And when I was blown away because, Tanya, when we walked into the theater the first day, like when the action, here, Erica and Harold were sort of on their hands and knees, hammering together pieces of wood and with Darian, I think, to extend the stage and make it a little wide, but we, you know, putting in a little sort of between where you are and Tyler, I think there's a little bit of a dip down, and that was filled in, and the actors, you know, and we had a trailer out back for the cast to change in, and it was really exciting. It was really well, I love Collingwood.
The funny thing about the trailer was that trailer actually belonged to Harold Bickerstaff.
Right.
And I said, oh gosh, you know, we've got a problem. We have more actors than we have dressing rooms for. We're going to have to figure this out. And Harold says, I'll just bring my trailer over, and we park it in the parking lot, and that becomes a dressing room. And you constructed what was basically, it was like you put a house on this stage. It was so beautiful, and every detail was done at the front of that porch. It made you want to just, and actually I know the audience felt, they just wanted to get up on the stage and go be a part of that porch, because that's Becky
Morris. That's Becky Morris. She's my production manager, but she also designs a lot of our shows. And I've said to her many times, what I want to do is, because we had a gorgeous set for well, everyone is gorgeous, Gentleman Clothier and interiors and exteriors, and I want to take all of her set designs and put them together and make one house out of all of those different rooms and different places that she's taken us to so beautifully and magically. So
yes, we actually had a hard time keeping people from walking up on that stage, because of course you're so close to it, and they just were dying to get up there on that little porch and see what was beyond the screen door. So it was really quite amazing. And again, I thank you for, being flexible. But wasn't it fun? It was such an intimate opportunity, like an opportunity for the audience to feel so intimate with the show. They were so close. They were right there, loving every minute of it.
And the actors love that too. I mean, you know, performers love that. Actors, I think, love that experience as well, of being that close. You know, unfortunately, I think it might be a little while before we are able to be that close to our audiences again. But we will again one day, hopefully sooner rather than later. We will do that again. But that's what makes it so special, is that audiences are so. They're sitting there and they're going, I want to be in those silks. I want to be hanging from those silks. I can see, oh, wow, it's so thrilling, right? It's the same as, I want to be on that stage. I just want to live in that world for a little while. And I think that's what we do as artists, circus artists, musicians, whoever, who just create such magic for our audiences, that they are just so, and of course, that's the one thing that this format can never do, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's great to see you, and I know you're well and smiling, and you're doing great, but just that real thing, right?
Yeah.
So we're
gonna do the best we can with what we have for right now, but we all can't wait to be back in person. So there is a show. Oh, well, actually, before I get to that, I also want to talk about one other show that you did that is a real favorite of mine. Unfortunately, I was not able to bring it to Collingwood. And that's The Last Christmas Turkey. And actually, I think it, in its original state, premiered with Theatre Collingwood, if I'm not mistaken. You would know more of the history of that than, in its original state, it was puppets.
Yeah, well, of course, it's written by Danny. It's written by Dan Nunes, who, of
Nunes.
course, is everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to Dan this morning, actually, and we were talking about that show, about what we can do with it again.
Yes, talk about it. Talk a lot about that.
It was originally, I believe, Dan, of course, when he watches this, will of course correct me in no uncertain terms, I know. But it was originally kind of one of his columns, you know, a short piece that he wrote, that then was expanded upon into a 2-person show with puppets.
Right.
And when we started to talk about expanding the show, it became a full size, you know, it became a cast of 7 or 8. Suddenly it was a musical. Well, and so it had a lot of different components to it, right? So
you turned it into a musical. And I have to say,
it's a great show. And
it's not just a great show. I think it could be a Christmas classic. I absolutely loved it. It touched my soul. And you did such a beautiful job directing it and developing that play. And I just feel it needs to be a Christmas classic, and you need to do it so that you can bring it to Collingwood for me.
Oh, I see. Okay. I get it now. I knew you were leading me somewhere here, Erica. Yet again, I knew you were leading to the river.
So yeah, it was just beautiful, David, and congratulations.
Well, elements of it we've kept because I mean there were some interesting characters in it, and the fact that we had Trevor Patz brilliantly played Tom the Turkey and characters, the cat and all the owl, all those wonderful magical characters. Yeah, it really was a magical piece. So I know we're going to do it again.
Yeah, and a piece for all ages, really a piece for
absolutely,
all ages. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's this other lovely show that I haven't been able to bring in. It's always about timing, but it's becoming a bit of a habit of yours. And it's with your good buddy, Norm Foster. And that is Jonas and Barry in the Home.
Yeah, Norm was up here. We were doing a play. We were doing the premiere of a play of Norm's called On a First Name Basis, which is a two-hander play. And Norm came up. He was in the show. Obviously it was his play, and it was a brand new production. But Norm was in the play, and at the very last minute, his accommodation fell through. And we had a new sponsor, was a Chartwell seniors residence, had come on just as a new sponsor. And they were still they hadn't finished the building. The fourth floor was not sold yet. And so we put him in there, and so he stayed there. And as he was wandering around, and because we had always joked, Norm and I have always joked that he would write the Boca play. So it would be a play that the two of us could retire. We could move to Florida, to Boca Raton, and just do the dinner theater circuit until we face planted on stage. So he started to write it, and so we've had a great deal of success with it. I think we finished last summer. It was our 204th performance, I think, of the show that we had done together. Interestingly enough, before he became a playwright and actor, Norm wanted to become a clown. He was actually going to I forget where it is. It's somewhere in the States, I guess. Kristin would know. There's a very famous circus school and clowning school in the States. And that was the track he was on. He wanted to be a clown. And I saw him do a production of Waiting for Godot. And Norm is 6'4", and Bill Vickers was in it with him, and Bill's 4'6", and the two of them were. But it was because it's a show. It's basically two clowns. That's two very sad clowns, but that's what it is. But yeah, so interesting enough, Norm was he was.
I never knew that.
Destined for the circus and just never got there. But
and now maybe he's getting there with you in Jonas and Barry.
It's a three-ring circus when we're on stage together. I'll tell you that. And I would pay big money to anybody if Kristin can get him up on silks.
that would be really great. That would be great.
No, it's a great show. It's a lot of fun, and it's two rapidly aging old curmudgeon. And I guess all the hair will have to come off for that the next time we do it. I don't know when that'll be. So.
Well, I can't wait till we can bring that to Collingwood as well. So let's talk about your theater, because you have a very special place that you do all of the magic in, and that is Theatre Orangeville, which is in the Orangeville Town Hall, I guess.
Town Hall, Opera House.
Yeah. Opera House.
1867. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a beautiful, beautiful facility.
It also is one that's not too big. You still feel a feeling of being close enough to the stage. You just went through a renovation a couple of years ago, I think, too.
Yeah, we redid the seats and all the lighting grid, because of course it's all gone to LED and things like that. We reduced the consumption in the room by 94%, which is really fantastic.
But the seats are interesting because you kept them looking.
When the building was well, this is our 26th season, I guess. So 27 or 28 years ago, the building was going to be leveled. It still is the town hall for Orangeville. It's a working town hall. That's where you go to pay your taxes and get a permit to build your deck and all that kind of stuff. And but it was going to be leveled, and it was a community initiative to save the building. And they discovered, they had this whole space in the second floor, and let's put in a theater. So the Heritage Board of Ontario it never was a theater the way it looks now. So the Heritage Board of Ontario said that in order to kind of keep the heritage component of the building, it was as if it had been built then. So the colors of the seats, the sort of faux mahogany, the plum colors, and all that kind of stuff would have been what it would have looked like in the day had it been original. So we strive to maintain the integrity of what that sort of feel of the space is, so people feel like they're walking into a building that's 150 whatever years old. So it's really kind of neat. Or into the theater, the building is, of course, but.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience, and I get a sense that you have a tremendous community that really loves you and what you're doing at Theatre Orangeville, and you can see that with your volunteers and with everything that's sort of going on.
We have a unique mandate, artistic mandate. We only do work that is created by Canadian writers, composers. So that's kind of our mandate. And we also have a it's 18 years now, is that we have been developing work with members of our community living community from the neurodiverse community that celebrates ability. We create a new play and a new musical every year, that original work from the ground up.
I wanted to talk about that. Your line, celebrating ability.
Well, I mean, I'll come back sometime. We can do another half hour just on that alone. I've got some great video I can share with you of that. But so that's really thrilling work. I think we've really moved forward the cause of diversity inclusion within our community, certainly within the neurodiverse community. And but yeah, it's 18 years now we've been doing that, which is really cool.
I want to just in case anyone doesn't pick up on exactly what it is you're speaking about, I just want to touch on, you have two groups. I don't think I wrote down the names of them, and I might not get it right. Oh, yes. Theatre Orangeville, Exceptional Players, and then you have Creative Partners on Stage.
Yeah, Creative Partners on Stage is, in the world of community living, you don't enter into that world until you're 18. So it's the world of adults. These are all people who are working, who have, things that they get about their lives, and gather to rehearse usually a musical, or musical and play. The TOPE, the Theatre Orangeville Exceptional Players, is an after-school program for children who are on the spectrum, and they up until about age of 18 or 19.
It's really an outstanding, they're both outstanding programs, and I commend you for what you're doing. Another interesting thing that you have done at Theatre Orangeville is you have been doing relaxed performances. So can you explain what that is?
Relaxed performances, the concept really started, we've actually kind of, not really consciously, we've been doing it since we started these programs almost 20 years ago, but formally it started in Britain. It was the British Arts Council who really started it. So the concept is that anyone who, it's not just neurodiverse, but if there's claustrophobia, if there is issues of accessibility around being able to afford a ticket, someone is babes in arms are not welcome in our theater. It says so right on the ticket. Babes in arms are not, whatever. It's an opportunity for, say, someone who has a babe in arms to come to the theater. So the doors to the theater remain open. The house lights are maybe about 30%, 35%. So people can get up if they feel so inclined. They can walk down to the stage. They can see what's going on. They can just tune into it a different way. So it's just a different and unique kind of experience. The actors come out beforehand, and they might introduce themselves if there's a fight. The classic one, it was in Britain. I think it was the National Theatre where they were doing Hamlet. And spoiler alert, but Hamlet doesn't end well for just about everybody on stage. And the two actors, the one who was playing Hamlet and the other who was playing Laertes, came on they have their big sword fight, and they both whatever. And so they said, just to be aware, nothing really happens. Hi, I'm David, I'm playing Hamlet, and here's what happens. And so in street clothes, they show the scene, and then they go backstage and get into costume. So it just alleviates any undue concern or stress or anxiety that for whatever reason people might have in the theater. And
I think it's amazing, and I commend you for it. And I think that's what it's all about, right? Bringing everyone in to hear those great stories and experience them.
And because now it's a subscription. It's now part of subscription. So, you can subscribe to that five shows a year and do that.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Now, I know what's going to happen. We're not going to have enough time to talk about the millions of things you like to talk about. I want to touch on Island Lake, your Island Lake project.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing space. You've created a stage basically on the water, right?
Yeah, it's in partnership with the Credit Valley Conservation Authority. It's their property. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of property. It's actually the headwaters of the Credit River. That's actually where it starts. And in partnership with them and with our local Orangeville Highlands Rotary Club, we have a 40 by 60 stage that is actually out over the, it doesn't float on the water.
No.
It's sort of on stilts because that's where the liability insurance really kicked in.
Yeah.
So it sits about 3 feet above the water, and the space can accommodate 1,200 people. They bring a launcher. I mean, I guess we've been out there for 3 years. Last summer, we did a production of Midsummer Night's Dream, which I was really proud of because it brought together professional actors, community actors, members of my young company, and members of my creative partners on stage. Neurodiverse company all together in one production, which was really kind of neat. So we had some plans, of course, for this summer, but we'll be back out there again soon.
It's an amazing space and a totally amazing project for sure. Now, we're running out of time, but I have to say one other really important thing you do, and that is the cocktail of the week.
I thought you would never ask. Take a glass with an ice cube. Is this not perfect? Look at this. It's a work of art. Look at this round piece of ice. So what you want to do is you want to take a beaker, and into that, you want to pour 1 ounce of rye, boom, and you want to put in 1 ounce of brandy. I'm going to do this really quick. 1 ounce of brandy, boom. This is all booze, Erica. This is all for you. I know it's the kind of drink you like. And 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. And then you want to put in just a teaspoon of Benedictine. Oh, it's really, really good. And you want to throw in a whole bunch of ice into what that is, and 2 shots of Angostura bitters, 1, 2, and 2 shots of Peychaud bitters. This is from New Orleans. This drink is called the Vieux Carré. It means old square.
Woo!
Like that, Vieux Carré. And so you want to stir it to get some some dilution. So just talk amongst yourselves. I thought I saw that Kristin I thought she had a glass of red wine on the go. I think that's how she gets up the energy to get up on the silks. So you want to do that, and there we go. And then we're going to take a Hawthorne strainer. This drink was invented in 1938 by Walter Bergeron at the Hotel Monteleone in New Orleans. And we're going to strain that into a cocktail glass just like that. Isn't that pretty?
Oh my goodness.
And then, wait, we're not done. And then we are going to express the oil of a lemon into this drink, and we're going to rub it around there. And then we're going to put in 2 Luxardo cherries, just like that. And there it is for your drinking pleasure.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh.
It's so good.
So I just have to say that each week David is doing a drink of the week. You can watch it online. David Nairn, there is nothing you can't do.
We're doing a book. We're up to, I think, 20 cocktails now, because it comes out, as you say, it comes out every week. We're up, I think, to number 20. And I was just approached by Nancy Frater, who runs Bookler, which is a great independent bookstore in Orangeville. She wants to do a book in time for Christmas of just these drinks. So,
oh my God, it's fantastic.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. And
Erica, I will deliver one of these to you. I'll bring one to both you. Tanya, you and Tyler will all get one, and Kristin too.
You are going to be held to that. And, I didn't get to the point of where you go all over your town in your Christmas elf costume, but we'll talk about that another time. But thank you. You're so talented. It's a joy every time I work with you. And thanks for joining us on the show. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, Tanya, how did that hour go by?
I don't know. Oh, that was so fun.
That was so fast and so fun. What amazing guests we had. Again, I want to thank you and Tyler and the town of Collingwood and our sponsor tonight, Blue Mountain Resort. And I want to talk about our next show, which will be Wednesday, September 30th. Of course, we're on every other week. And we are going to have that man with the super interesting name, Chris Suchiuchi. And he's going to come and talk to us about all the amazing things he does. He's a musical director, amazing singer, and of course, the creator of the Asian Riffing Trio. So he'll be with us on the 30th. That
sounds like so much fun. I'm looking forward to that.
I guarantee it will be insane. It will be a little crazy.
Insane.
It'll be a little crazy with Chris here, but you know, that'll be fun. It'll be great.
And I just wanted to mention the Collingwood Art Crawl is coming up. Starts this Saturday, the 19th through the 26th. You can go to the Collingwood Art Crawl website to check out all the details. We've got lots of virtual offerings, performances, workshops, and concerts online. And then there's in-person art displays in the downtown. So check that out. The Collingwood Circus School will be showing some content virtually for us, which will be fun. So hope people could join us.
It's always a fantastic event, and we don't let a little pandemic stop it. So.
That's right.
Terrific. Thanks again, Tanya. Everybody wear your masks, wash your hands, stay healthy, and let's get through this together.
Yes. Thanks, Erica. Thanks, Kristin. Thanks, David.
You.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.